you. Okay. It's nice to be with you again. I've got assistant pastor with me, Henry Campbell again on the camera as usual, and we're just going to bring the word today. I'm going to speak about miracles. Before I get into it, I want to, so that you can hear me loud and clear, I believe in miracles. Total sold out for miracles. I believe in miracles because God is a supernatural God. And because He's a supernatural God, I believe in Him, then I believe in miracles. But I want you to get this clear today. We've got people, and they've got a wrong understanding, got a wrong mindset, and they think that miracles is just praying all the time and waiting continually on God to lift you or to lay you. Always praying for God to do a miracle. Saying, God, if you do this for me, I'll change. You believe God, if He would just touch your life and give you the miracle you want, then you'd be hot, you believe the whole counsel of God's word, if He would just give you that miracle. If only God would change the negatives in your life, if only God would change your addictions, if only God would give you a miracle and take depression out of your life, if only God would give you a miracle and change your financial situations, if only God would give you a miracle, if God would do something about this area of my life, then everything would be fine. Can I tell you that is totally wrong? And I'm going to explain it. And I've told you at the start, I believe in miracles. Now listen to this. If God would do something about this area in my life, we say, then everything would be fine. It wouldn't be fine. Because you've got to get this miracle mindset out of the way and get another mindset. And the mindset that you want is the blessing of God in your life. If you need a miracle, your life's in dire straits. If you need a miracle, there's something wrong. And I'm telling you, I know, because I'm on the television, on the God channel and things like that, there is miracles happening in their millions all the world. But these people are in a desperate state and they need a miracle. And if you're in a desperate state, you don't need to beg God for that. He'll give you because He loves you. You're a child of God. And those who know God, you know, if we give good gifts to our children, how much more will our Heavenly Father kick in an area in our life where we need the miraculous? He'll do it. You don't need to beg Him for a miracle. So I believe in miracles. But listen to this. I'm going to read for John chapter 3 today. And you need to bear with me and listen to what I'm saying. There's a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. This man came to Jesus by night and said to Him, Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher come from God. Now hear this. For no one can do these signs, that means miracles. No one can do miracles that you do unless God is with him. And Jesus answered and said to him, truthfully I say to you, unless one is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Nicodemus said to him, how can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter a second time into his mother's womb and be born? And Jesus answered, truthfully I say to you, unless one is born of water and the Spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of God. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Then Jesus says this in verse 7, He says, don't marvel that I say to you, you must be born again. He says, the wind blows where it wishes and you hear the sound of it, but can't tell where it comes from and where it goes. So is everyone who's born of the Spirit. Now this is the thing I want to talk about today, about getting rid of this miracle mindset and having a blessed mindset. It says in John 3, it says, no one can do these signs, no one can do miracles that you do unless God is with him. Now I want to ask you something. If you've received Jesus Christ as your Lord and Saviour, who's with you? God. And if God's with you, then it's saying that these signs will follow you because God's with you. The miraculous will work in your life because God is with you. And you listen to this. Jesus said this in verse 3, He says, truthfully I say to you, unless one is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. So this is a miracle. That if you become born again, that is the biggest miracle that you'll ever experience in your life. And if you can get that first miracle, you can have every other miracle you need. But what you do is you just need to kind of get this kind of a wee box out of the way, the miracle word out of the way. Because the miracle means as if you need to beg for it, scream for it, shout for it, fast for it, just, you know, like, so I need this. And God said, you don't need to be like that. If God was with Jesus and God's in us, then God says that if God be with you, then the Spirit that's in you is God. And with God, all things are possible. So you've got the the all supernatural power of God in you. So you don't need to keep hungering and thirsting and fighting and begging for miracles. They should operate. And watch this one. Jesus says this, truthfully I say to you, unless one is born again. So the first miracle you need in your life is to be born again. And if you've got that, see if any miracle, if Satan or demonic realms or any sort of spirit can stop any miracle coming to your life, go, I need a miracle of cancer of getting healed, I need a miracle of addiction. I'll tell you, they're not even miracles, they're byproducts of the first miracle, and you must be born again. If you're born again, the supernatural things happen in your life. And he says this, and when you're born again, here's the segment. I'm trying to get out to like Christian people here, the miracles that are in your life. If you're not a Christian, become a Christian, so miracles can work in your life. Then you know, name tag it, you know what it is, it's the blessing of God. Now here's what it says, unless you're born again, you can't see the kingdom of God. You can't see the power yet. You can't see the operation yet. You haven't got faith to believe it. You must be born again. Now, Jesus says this in verse 5, says, truthfully I say, unless one is born of the water and the Spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of God. You can't even come into the things of God unless you get this first miracle in your life, and that's to be born again. Then he says this in verse 6, that which is born of flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. So you need to get a revelation of this. You're born again with a supernatural miracle, and it's the Spirit of God came into you. The Spirit of Christ is in your heart. Jesus says, when the Spirit comes in, he says, I'll never leave you, I'll never forsake you. That miracle power. Can I tell you, people are wanting, I want the Spirit of God. If you've got the Spirit of God, you've got the ultimate miracle in your life. I hope I'm making this loud and clear today. Then it says this. In verse 7, he says to Nicodemus, he says, don't marvel at this. Don't get a mindset that this is too miraculous to be born again. And Jesus says, don't think miracle thinking. He says, think the word, think the blessed, think that God wants to give you everything. He says, so don't marvel at this. And he says this, so is everyone who is born of the Spirit. So if you're born of the Spirit, you have got the Spirit, the supernatural, miraculous power of God in you. The supernatural is operating in you. But you need to change the way you think, the way you look at things, and you know, when somebody comes in and they talk about the hard things in their life or the hard things in your life, don't take it right out of their grasp away for a life and say, well, believe God for a miracle. Because I'll tell you, if you're going to believe for a miracle, you might be one in millions who's not getting a miracle. But if you can bring it down to the natural, you catch this, the natural level. You know, naturally, if you need a pint of milk, you can go to the shop. Naturally, if you need fuel, you can jump in the car and go to the garage. So if you can bring it down to the natural and put God above it, which is a supernatural, then you've got miracles flowing into your life. And it all happens through the new birth. Now, the new birth is this, that if you haven't got the new birth, there is no life, there's no spiritual life, and there's no relationship with God. So if you haven't got God, you haven't got the supernatural, then you can't expect miracles. I'm not saying that they might happen for people, but they're very rare. Now Jesus says this in John 14:6. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And what he's saying here is this, that everything that you need in this life, Jesus says, that he's the way. That everything that you need to know for the answers, he's got the truth for you. That everything that you need for life to give you the supernatural and all the things you need, he says, I'm that life you need, I'm that spiritual connection, I'm that supernatural. And he says, but no one can come right into the flow yet unless they come through him, and that's to be connected back with the Father again. And Jesus makes that thing possible. So what happens when you get connected with the Father? You get connected with the supernatural God. And God hasn't put miracles in your heart, but he's put blessings in your heart. Jesus says, I came that you'd have life and you'd have it more abundantly. You'd have the blessed life. He says, you wouldn't live for a miracle day to day. He says, but you would live as Jesus lived, with every word that proceeds forth out of the mouth of God. Everything that comes out of the Bible, it's your blessing, it's your miracle word, if you want to put it that way. It's what you need. It's your everyday thing.